The five-time NFL MVP and two-time NFL champion must have many qualities for receiving the title of a future Hall of Famer. One of these qualities he excelled at was leadership. He demanded excellence while still having the respect and commitment from his teammates. Peyton Manning, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, was a substantial leader. Today, I'll be sharing stories about how Peyton Manning and how he exemplified leadership. Leadership is a quality that is given to someone who invests their time and resources in others. Why would we not want for others? Why would we not want the same for others and ourselves? I watched and was a fan of Peyton Manning when he played in the NFL. I have also researched stories about his characteristic of leadership told by his peers. I'll be discussing 3 stories in which Peyton Manning presented leadership. One of the ways Peyton Manning presented that leadership is by always wanting to become a better player for his team, even if it meant waking up other coaches. Zach Kiefer from Indy Star paints a picture on just how much Manning wanted him and the team to improve. Peyton Manning and the Colts was flying back to Indianapolis one night after a road game win. Peyton Manning, Clyde Christensen, the offensive coordinator at the time, was fast asleep after a long, grueling day at work. Then suddenly a stewardess woke up Christensen and said, "Peyton wants to see you in the back of the plane." Christensen, groggy and irritated, replied, "Tell him I was sleeping." So the stewardess leaves and comes back shortly after and says, "He said he doesn't care if you're sleeping." As Christensen slowly made his way back to the plane, Peyton Manning was going over the game and wanted Christensen to go over every single play with him. So as everyone was asleep, Payne went over every single play in detail so he can correct the mistakes that he made that game. Another way in which Peyton Manning displayed leadership is that he made sure everyone was focused all week long. This story exemplified how Payne prepared during the week before a game. Mike Wells from ESPN presents the attitude and thought process of Peyton Manning during the week before his football game. While everyone on the team was home on their day off, just like every other Tuesday, Peyton would come in with his legal pad and pen. The legal pad was full of plays and scribbles from watching clips of the previous game. So, Manning would go over with the offensive coaches of what he could do and what new plays they could possibly carry out. On Saturdays, Tony Dungy, who was the head coach of the Colts at the time, would sometimes let his kids come to practice. Dungy, thinking that this was the nice fatherly thing to do, saw nothing wrong with it. Peyton Manning thought otherwise. Manning would go up to Dungy and say, "Do we really need to have the kids on the field?" Coach Dungy, probably thinking Manning was a buzzkill, replied, "We'll be okay." Peyton would go on further and proposing that maybe the kids should come into the locker room instead. He just did not want anything to distract him or his teammates from the task at hand, and that task was to prepare for the football game. Lastly, Manning always wanted the very best from himself and those around him. Everything had to be done with full effort or Payne would not let you touch the field. Pat McAfee from the Pat McAfee Show details how Peyton Manning would not put up with less than 100% effort on the field. Austin Collie, a rookie wide receiver with a bright future, ran a flat route toward the team's bench. Manning threw the ball toward Collie, and Collie reached out with one hand, but the ball bounced out of his hand for an incomplete pass. Collie drops his head and runs to the huddle. But before he reached the huddle, Manning pointed toward the bench while glaring at Collie. Collie, feeling like he let the whole world down, slowly trotted towards the bench. The coach, though, told Collie to go back on the field. So Collie turned around, but then saw that Manning was still looking right at him, with his finger pointing toward the bench. So Collie slowly made his way toward the bench, feeling dejected and worried if he will ever see the field again. Peyton Manning was always one of the very best from his teammates. He would do anything he could to make himself and others around him better. That is what made him a great leader. Manning throughout his career earned the respect and admiration from teammates, players, and coaches around the NFL. His leadership on the field was what made him the player that we now know today. Leadership is given to people who go the extra mile in preparation and putting the team first, not letting anyone slack off. This this world can never have enough leaders, and Peyton Manning proved just how important a great leader can be.